it's Todd Ault. It's the 25th of June. It's the 100 and what episode now?
102.
102. 102. I hope I live to 102. Jason, you know what I woke up to today?
I do.
I woke up to Iconics. IKNX. Everybody out there, every single person out there that makes all these comments, we filed the 13D 6 months ago. Today, we woke up to it, what, it started like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, back to 17, blah, blah, blah. It went to 24.50. I couldn't sell it fast enough.
Yeah, we unloaded the clip on
Yeah,
that.
we sold the whole entire position today. You'll see the 13D. I'm letting everybody know we sold it. But you knew we owned it for 6 months.
Yep.
Ironically, what happened to DPW today?
Well, DPW on that splendid news, considering that they have a 13D position, it went down.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes logical sense. Hey, no commentary here from me, but in the house today, one of my favorite people, I've done real estate domination with him. He's a very wonderful guy. He's a family man. I know his wife, not as well as I know him, but I've gotten to do, I think, one virtual, one live seminar with him and Ty Lopez, Dr. Alex together. He comes out from New Mexico. He's always been kind to me. He's a real estate developer. He's a real estate owner. He's a real estate syndicator. He buys warehouses with Ty Lopez and Dr. Alex. You've been doing this for a while now. Jerome Maldonado. Hey, let's. How do we do it? 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 Where's it at? Where's it at? Come on, man. You got it. Where's it at? They
It's
move
near
it
the
around?
yeah, there it is.
Okay, Jerome Maldonado. Not that live. All right, cool. Thank you so much. Jerome, how's it going, my man?
Going good, man. Thanks for pulling me into the studio and having me join you today, Todd.
You know, Jerome,
being here, bro.
the last time we were together was a virtual.
Yeah, I
It
was
was
up in
like
Chicago.
middle of COVID, right?
Yep, right middle of COVID. We were supposed to be live here in Las Vegas, and but hey, we still were able to pull it together, and we had a very successful event, and you brought it to the house, man. Even compared from the year prior, you did great. And
You
just
do a
killed
lot
it.
of real estate coaching, though. Can you tell everybody kind of, because I see you developing stuff all the time. I know you do a lot of development. You own a lot of property. You do a lot of stuff with Ty Lopez and Dr. Alex. That's the last kind of time I had a major update from you. I don't know what those guys are doing now. I haven't seen them in a while. But I know that you have a pretty loyal crew. I met a couple of the people that were coached by you, had bought some homes with you, did some deals with you. What are you doing now?
So we have a lot going on. This is one of our biggest years that we've had on an inventory basis of our own real estate holdings. We brought in since beginning of 2021, we brought in about a little over $50 million in assets. So we're repositioning as people know, the market's been really hyper stimulated, and so most people stop investing or they invest in the wrong way. They invest too much into the wrong assets. So we've decided to do a lot of value add stuff, and so we're taking beat up, torn up old office buildings. I got one in the Phoenix area right now that we're repositioning into multifamily. So instead of buying traditional multifamily, the cap rates are super low. We're going in there and doing some creative renovation
An office
stuff.
building into multifamily?
Yeah, 32,000 square feet of office building. We're going to turn that into 48 units, and then we're going vertical on the land in the back because we acquired the land. The land's free. So we're going vertical with another 55 units in the back as well. That's one project.
Wow.
And we got another project down in Seattle area. We're doing some single-family home development. Since Google's growing and tech is growing, and we got Microsoft down there, and we got Amazon, and we got all the big boys down there. We're feeding the dense housing market down there because there's a need, and they're doing these little micro homes. So we have a residential home development that I'm doing up there as well. And we're going to be doing a multifamily development over in the Tacoma area. So I'll be up there in a few weeks. So we got that.
Wow.
And we got some stuff down in your neck of the woods, actually, too.
Hey, those of you on the radio, 1150 Los Angeles and Orange County, the Patriot Network, you're also on the iHeartRadio app. We have Jerome Maldonado in the house. We got lucky because Jerome's here to see somebody else, but I happen to know Jerome. So I said, Jerome, come join us.
Yeah.
How can people get a hold of you?
You know, they can just reach out on jeromemaldonado.com, or they can follow me on any social media platform on Jerome Maldonado. You'll find the same picture. On Instagram, it's Jerome Maldonado and the number 1.
Nice.
Yeah, I dropped the link in the chat here, and Nick, just give me a quick hit
we pull
on
it up?
Yeah, here's the website here.
Oh, there we go.
Good looking website.
Nice.
Absolutely.
You guys see his spelling? Excellent. Hey, there's a couple people in the house today. I see Rod Wilson. Thank you. I always got this Taekwondo donut. What the heck is that, dude? What the heck? Brand Naked's here. I know. I saw that. Red Pill, Yahtzee King. Happy Friday, everybody. Hey, let's cover the markets. Those of you who watched the day today, we had that IPO of AC.
XP.
How do you say the name?
It's a Curix.
Curix Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
We bought 333,000 shares on the IPO. It was up at one point, I think, almost to $9. It's been a good day for us. Jason, this has been a good day, a good month, a good year.
Yeah, we're finishing this quarter very
Strong, for sure. Friedman was over 15. Iconics. Why don't you cover the market real quick, and we'll get to some of the names that we traded today.
Yeah, for sure. The macro indicators. The Dow Jones Industrial was actually up 290 today to 34,486. Let me grab some notes here. Bear with me here as I cheat a little bit. NASDAQ was actually down 10 points, 14,359, and the S&P 500 was 4283. Good for a 17-point gain. Bitcoin, Ethereum, as you know, have been highly volatile. Bitcoin coming into the show today, 32,140, and Ethereum at 1845. Roughly a 16.5, 17 to 1 Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. That number has increased recently. You know, we've been covering that number for a while. It was around 12 to 1. 12 Ethereum to equal 1 Bitcoin. You know, I like to cover that because I like to compare that to the gold to silver ratio. It's just kind of fun to look at and see what's going on in the markets. Oil, again, up 68 cents, $74 barrels of oil. You'll feel that at the gas pumps. Todd, I'm sure you don't miss California's gas prices.
I do not. Hey, I'm just tweeting out that we sold our whole Iconics position because, you know, on Twitter, you can follow me and I can give you updates on DPW because I filed an 8K with the SEC. So I got to follow the rules here, and I did sell the entire position at a wonderful gain for DPW. And why can I talk about that? Why am I allowed to talk about that? Because we file these positions, these 13Ds, when we're activists with the SEC, and the whole public can read what we buy and sell things for. So we sold it between $16.50 all the way up to $24.50, but most of it in the high 20s, or the high between 20 and 24.50. Jason, enough for some lunch money.
Well, full disclosure, we woke up this morning. I said, wow, IKNX has news. It's substantial. The joining with TeraWulf, the largest crypto mining operation in North America, as far as I know. Mm-hmm. And the stock itself has a very low float. The amount of shares that can be openly traded on the markets is very low. So this thing, it didn't take too much to force this thing upwards. A lot of buying pressure, and we were pretty patient. We watched it consolidate between like 17 and 20, and then after the mid-morning lull, it just ripped up to around 24, actually to 25.
We were really patient with this name. We bought it like starting over 6 months ago. I can't remember, but I think in the sevens.
Yeah.
In the low sevens.
Yep.
It ran one time. I sold a little bit, bought it back in the 9 range. And then today, 24.50. I actually thought for a second I saw 25.
I think it printed like 25 even.
Yeah. But once it got over $20, I had to be a seller because that $5 contingency right is a right to the existing company. And since they're merging with TeraWulf, you're going to get a carried interest, obviously 2%. Mm-hmm. But for me, I was done. That trade worked. It was 6 months. I want to say it's probably over 100%. Those of you home gamers out there, keep in mind these are trades that we do. Mm-hmm. We're not recommending them to you or anybody. You got to do your own homework. Get your old financial advisor. Did you cover copper and everything?
We didn't get to the precious metal side of things.
Let's get to that real quickly.
Yeah, gold
we got Jerome for like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
So we're going to get back to Jerome in a few.
Gold 1777, good for a 250 gain. Silver 2614. Copper 429. As you know, copper is a huge story because of the administration with their hopes of electrification of the grid, expanding in EV chargers, great conductor of energy. Copper has been up, and China did release some of their strategic reserves to kind of lessen the pressure on copper, but you can see that it's remained strong, well over $4. It did reach an all-time high this year. So keep an eye on copper. An associated play that you might consider, FCX, and actually SCCO, Southern Copper. Those are two names that you can do homework on and decide for yourself if you want to invest in those.
Those of you who are on the radio, it's Sunday for you. We have Jerome Maldonado as a guest host. Jerome runs a real estate company. Are you everywhere, Jerome, or are you just in the Southwest? What if people wanted to do business with you? What areas would they do business with you? Because I think you have warehouses all over the place, right?
Yeah, we got real estate now. We got real estate in at least, let me see, 12 different cities across the United States. But I focused the majority of our career in the Southwest. But now we're doing stuff down in Puerto Rico. We have a different market. We're hitting
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we're hitting the ultra wealthy because of
Taxes,
taxes.
Right. It's like the Ritz-Carlton resort down there, like a development or something?
Yeah, it's over in the Rio Grande area, and it's the St. Regis. And we had Logan Paul looking in one of our properties the other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after the fight.
Big payday for Logan, huh?
Yeah. So it was cool because immediately 2 weeks after the fight, we had him down there, and I had the builder call me up and ask me if we would consider selling one of the properties we're having built.
Yeah.
And so it was exciting to have someone like that quick go down and take a look at it. So those are the type of people that we're hitting in the market down in Puerto Rico.
That's interesting.
And
maybe
so-
his brother Jake will go the distance here in his upcoming fight.
We'll build him both a house.
Yeah,
down
that's
there.
what I was thinking.
Hey, make sure we can put this on the screen real quick for Jerome. Can we put it up there, please? Or split screen it or something? Not that. Jerome, on the other screen. Hey, those of you, Jerome's only going to be with us for a short time, and we're going to take a few questions. So if you could put them in the chat, we'll make sure we ask Jerome a few questions. Any questions regarding real estate, warehouses, building a house, building a home, apparently buying old warehouses and make them into
offices, yeah.
apartment buildings and make them into houses, how to buy stuff. Let's get to your questions. I wanted to, let's cover a few stocks real quick before we get to them. So here it is. Let's go to the screen real quick. Can you split me up a little bit here? This is the 6-month chart. You can see that we've been patiently in it. We got in it in December, really?
That's probably
December
our
and
most
January.
patient 13D position.
That was the most patient 13D filing we ever had, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I've had others. Well, I don't know, but Taco Cabana was a patient position out of
Yeah.
Texas. But you can see, to see it, once again, it doesn't show this on the screen here. But today, let's see if it does. Oh, it does here. This is the daily. You can see it did get right to 25 here. And you could see when this accelerated right through here, if you're watching the cursor, I just kept pressing the sell button as hard as I could. I mean, I literally could not sell fast enough. I got a couple rejected orders, and we were out of it about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. And I couldn't be more pleased. At one point, it was up about 84%. That's Iconics, and that was an iconic day for us, and I'm very pleased with that whole thing.
Real quick, let's let the radio listeners and the viewers understand what goes on when you have a run up on a stock like this that generally doesn't trade a whole lot. It's not very liquid. Todd's philosophy here, if I think I'm right on this, is he wanted to take advantage of the liquidity, the run up in the price, and get maximum expected value. And that's the whole belief and the plan around this 13D position. Was one opportunity that we could profit from that. There's a couple other ways Todd probably could get into that, but this was one way we.
Yeah, there was. It becomes a little the exponential factor tempers down, right? Because at that point, at $24, is it going to go to 48? Could, but for us, that wait and the return of capital for us was worth it. Kind of like the return of capital last night at the poker table.
Well, that was an epic comeback.
It was an epic comeback. You guys, Jason and I and Chase were gambling with him. Of course, we all had a $500 buy-in. We were up, so we gave our $500 back on our buy-in, and Jason proceeded to take it, run it down to where he was down to $400 or something.
I was in for 16 hundo.
Yeah, Jason usually doesn't lose this bad.
Todd and Chase gave up on me. Like, we're just going home.
I was tired. It was like 1:30 in the morning or 1 in the morning.
So,
and then I knew as soon as I left, you'd rally back.
So of course I had picks. Picks or it didn't happen, right?
No, I knew it happened.
So yeah, I put the stacks together. The dealers looked the other way.
Oh, trust me, I believe Andrea. She always tells me the truth,
Yeah.
and she was very clear with me. I said, Jason's going to come back. Text me. And she said, for sure. And then she texted me 0.98 down, which was her 98 cents down because she plays the nickel slots.
Andrea's the low
it is.
roller. She's the
Low
risk
roller.
averse part of our relationship.
And then, of course, you texted me. I'm up $27, which means there's a big rally back for that day. Let's go to Acura Pharmaceuticals. They have an interesting new... let's get this wrong. Antibiotic, effectively.
Yep.
Priced at $6 on the IPO. We bought 333,000, about $2 million worth on the IPO from Alexander. Thank you so much to Alexander for that. We did sell a little bit when it got to 850. I think we sold a third of our position just because we couldn't get much. We couldn't get much more, and it was kind of running a little bit.
Right.
But we still have a fully solid position. I think around 275,000 left.
Yep.
We like this position because they're working on something pretty epic in terms of. I keep getting it wrong. The antibiotic.
Yeah.
Silver Sun Technologies, as you know, we're a 13D filer. We own about 14.5% of the company. That has done well, continued to do well today, up 9 cents.
And the special divvy.
Special dividend coming. They declared a special dividend, 60 cents. Friedman, I'm a little bummed here.
Come on.
We
now.
had this thing at 15.50 this morning.
Yeah.
I admit I sold off a lot going into earnings. They're going to be big earnings, I think. They've already pre-announced. But the position's grown from when we started buying in 8 range, and it continues to grow and grow and grow. They pre-announced great quarter, great big demand for steel building products, which you, Jerome, have to deal with lumber, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes with you.
Oh, yeah.
And what's going on in building products. But we tried to sell a little of this position, and we did not get treated well, but we still own a lot of it. We are way up, probably $5 a share on this one. And let's get to, where are we? What segment are we? We're in segment 2.
Yeah.
So, Jerome, I wanted to ask you about when you're building out in this environment. We've seen lumber higher, we've seen copper higher, we've seen steel higher, a lot higher. What's it been like for you guys and what you're doing?
It affects us. We buy and caution ourselves with worst case scenarios. So, lumber's up 280% over the last year and a half. And so people got real excited because they saw it drop 30%. Well, 30% drop on a 280% inflation is not a lot.
No.
We'll take it, but it's not a lot. And so I think we're going to see a little hike, and it's going to be a little bit volatile here for a little bit, and I think it's going to start dropping back down a little bit as we start seeing interest rates rise. And now that we're seeing some lumber come in from Canada, we're starting to see a little bit of price reduction. But what lands up happening is it never gets back down to where it was, right? So we're going to see...
Never goes all the way back.
Never goes all the way back down. So one of the big questions is, should we start building out of steel instead of lumber? But like you said, Todd, everything's up. Steel's up now.
Yeah, commodities are...
Yeah, commodities are going through the roof. We have... crude oils are up, so that affects paint products and, polypropylene, a lot of PVC products. All that stuff is made out of crude oils and stuff.
Sure.
So, all that stuff is a part of building products, and we haven't started to see. We've been seeing a huge influx in the cost of those materials for the last year and a half, 2 years.
Sure.
We got some questions from the audience over Twiquan Donut. I always get it wrong. Mr. Maldonado, how about all these empty, huge mall spaces? Any interest in them from you?
Yeah, so we've been shopping them. And so that's an interesting question, and a very good one, too. They've been intriguing me for about the last 3 years. And it's funny because you as a business person can go in and you can have these incredible ideas. But if you get... the way the world works is they function on denial. It's kind of like substance abuse, right? So retail's dying. People know that retail's dying, but they're still in denial that there's going to be some magical way it's going to come back in brick and mortars. And so we go into municipalities. We've been trying to buy some of these. We put in offers, and we get friction because one of the big moves is putting together industrial warehouse space for distribution because e-commerce is growing. So with e-commerce growing, you take these, you reposition these into industrial warehouse space, and you can make them fluid again. Or put in a little bit of retail in the front is one business model. Have industrial warehouse, and then on these big empty parking lots, because a lot of these things are consuming 30, 40, 50 acres of land. And so we can go vertical with multifamily and do a full redevelopment plan. But it's the industrials part of it that we've been getting friction from municipalities.
Yep.
And so if the municipality isn't going to support us, it's really tough because then you spend a lot of time and money involved in a project that may or may not go. So that's been the only thing. Now we're starting to see a little bit more cooperation from municipalities. And I think as we, like anything, as time evolves and the real writing is on the wall, a lot of these municipalities get sick of seeing these empty parking lots and weeds start growing through the asphalt, and that's when they become a lot more open-minded to working with us for redevelopment projects. So yeah, very interesting move.
For Michael Rollins, for Jerome Maldonado, what is the best IDX service to use for developing real estate websites and for maximum lead retention and conversion? I don't know what he's referring to.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
IDX
not sure.
mean?
I'm not sure.
IDX. Is that a service for like syndication?
I'm assuming that that's something with the with the software. Yeah, so it's a software for real estate agent stuff. So I don't work as a broker. I hire out brokers. I mean, I have a brokerage. We brokered a lot of our own land deals, but we don't really work as brokers full time unless we're brokering our own stuff.
Can we go to the studio shot real quick?
I guess that's like the MLS. Yeah.
Who's
like
who's your two colleagues that are on
multiple,
camera now?
Like a multiple listing.
Who's your two colleagues that are on camera right now?
So we have Daniel. Daniel's my right hand man in the office.
Which one is he?
Daniel's right here. The man's 10 feet tall.
Look back here so we
You
can see
know.
the face.
Oh, there we
Okay.
go.
Who's Daniel?
Nice, nice, nice.
All right.
Daniel.
You're that?
What's up? What's up?
All right.
And then we got Alec.
Alec.
Alec started his videography business with us back about 2 years ago, almost little under 2 years ago, and we've seen him grow. This guy has grown his company. It's great to see a young entrepreneur succeed. And so
I
Alec's done
gotta
well.
assume you're in Vegas because it's got to be that time of the year soon. Now the COVID's over. Are we going to see a real estate domination 2021? I've had great times with both of them. The one in Irvine was by far my favorite because the COVID one, I had to like dance in front of the camera, and I didn't think that I was that good at dancing, but I did dance. Can you put this up on the screen real quick? The annual summits. The guy brings a who's who of producers there. Ty Lopez, a guest speaker. Before that, we had Dr. Alex. If you look to the right of Jerome's head, you see my fat head there. So I really enjoyed that last year. Yeah, there I am. Maureen she's great. All the people there. There's one guy there. Is it Bryce? No, not Bryce.
Yeah.
Is it Bryce McKinley?
Yeah, he's pretty outgoing gentleman.
Is he the flipper guy?
Wholesaler.
Wholesaler?
He's a beast. That guy.
He's a beast. I like him and his son.
Yeah.
What I thought was great about, let me tell you why I like Jerome's. I've done a lot of real estate stuff in my career. And as you guys know, I'm a large owner of Square Foot, publicly traded REIT. I was a big owner of MDRR, which is, what is it, Medalist REIT?
Medalist, yeah.
It's a weird name.
Yeah.
But I liked the business at the time. The thing I like about his programs is I got to meet people that were actually learning and making money from Jerome. Like they were right next to me, and they would tell me a story of how they made money and did a deal. And so you leave there compelled that it's really taking place, that it's not like a fantasy, like, I'm Carlton Sheets, and you can buy my program and you get real estate tomorrow, and it's no money down, it's all free. Jerome is not like that, and all the people that work with Jerome, I got to meet them all, and they all like, I'm in this group, I'm in that group, I do this with Jerome. I know a few people that did some of your, I guess you call it masterminds, where you were helping them.
Yep.
So what's up with real estate domination? We gonna see it again, and when are we gonna see it again?
Yeah. So first weekend of November, we're working.
Hey, that wasn't, by the way, just for the record. I didn't know that. You think that's a setup? This isn't CNN. This isn't CNN. It's not fake news.
Oh, real news. In fact, we haven't even solidified the venue space. We're doing that this afternoon. Actually, we're going to be meeting with one of the gals down at the MGM Grand, and we're going to be trying to solidify a place. But
You are fake news. You are fake news.
This is real news. Jerome.
Real news.
Jerome.
That's awesome.
So November 1st in Vegas?
Yep, here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we're working on solidifying the MGM Grand Garden, not the Garden, the MGM Grand, and we'll have one of the conference rooms there, and so we're going to be bringing a lot of power punchers, power players to the group this year.
We're doing a conference too in October, Risk On.
Are
It's
you?
like a risk on. It's about how to take risk in stocks and real estate and your business, etc. Maybe Jerome will be a speaker, like Marshall and others that are going to join us.
Yeah,
Jason,
Yeah,
I'd love to join you
Bradley.
guys.
Let's do it.
Bradley will be there.
Yeah, I was talking to Bradley about joining us this year for Real Estate Domination 2021. So, Brad, I'm putting you on the spot. We're going to solidify you. We're going to get you as one of our keynote speakers this year. His question to me was, well, I don't really do real estate, Jerome. What do you want me to talk about? I said, Brad, you got a great following. You just go up there and do what you do, man. I mean, He's incredible.
Yeah, he is
Yeah,
incredible.
OBL, he just does it.
So he's
Yeah.
been on the show many times, actually. We've
He actually had him on our 100th episode.
we had him on our 100th celebration episode. Brad's a good friend. Mr. Maldonado, how do you account for future possible interest rate hikes? Is this something you probably forecast or something else? Do you worry about future interest rates?
I don't know that I worry about what. There's the world continues to move, and just like you guys are in stocks, I have a gentleman named Dave that has been doing my stuff. He's with Merrill Lynch. He's been doing them for years, and like Dave says, he goes, look, Jerome, big companies don't go out and do their 15-year projections based on who's going to become a president and volatility in the market. They run their businesses and their 5-year, 10-year, 15-year goals based on where they're going. And so the best way I like to look at real estate is just like that, is that we don't stop what we're doing based on interest rates. We just pivot and change a little bit of how we do it to make it viable for that market. So when interest rates rise, as interest rates rise, we're going to have to see higher cap rates. It's going to have to happen. And so the way you shop and buy is going to be slightly different than you do now, because right now with cap rates being so low and interest rates being so low, it can happen at the same time because you are making money on top of the institutional money. So for sake of example, real quick, if you're borrowing money at 3%, but you're making a 5% cap rate, you're making 2% over what the institution's charging you. So
Yeah.
So it works.
The opportunities actually diversify also. Like, for example, Washington Prime Group, ticker symbol WPG, recently filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They had a stronghold in the Mid-Atlantic region. Actually, let's get just an idea here. They had a lot of their businesses were malls, like you discussed about, where the business models are kind of just falling by the wayside. Anchor stores like JCPenney themselves filed for bankruptcy. Bed Bath & Beyond struggles. Macy's has downsized. So you look at these huge opportunities in these huge spaces with large parking lots with massive acreage. And then, those are big opportunities, but those are big ideas, and you have to have the proper infrastructure to handle something like that, the human capital.
Yep.
All of those things come into play when you're trying to move from this type of business model from a mall that's been known around America and the world for decades, and now you're seeing e-commerce and a paradigm shift in how people go and shop. And then with COVID piled on top of that, you're looking at these. I'm surprised, for example, the mall here in Las Vegas still does really well because of the transient traffic, the destination for vacations and such. But when I lived in Florida recently, and I was there for quite some time in South Florida, a lot of the malls just weren't doing what they used to do. So, higher and best use for malls, it's just come to that point.
Repositioning.
Yeah.
It's all about repositioning, creativity and repositioning. It's all viable, but it comes with a lot of experience. One thing I've learned over the years, you got to partner with the right people.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And so knowledge and wisdom in deals like that are key.
Can you tell people? Well, I wanted to ask. When do I have to cut you loose by?
Yeah, we got about 15
Can you tell people if they wanted to come to something like Real Estate Domination? Forget the trip to Vegas, because everyone has a reason to come to Vegas.
Yeah.
What's the kind of buy-in to be part of the program? What's the cost generally? You can give us a range.
So typically is as cheap as $99. Last year we made the general admission free because we went virtual, which was priceless. And then they could become VIP guests for a couple $100. And if you really want to get involved with the inner circle, like yourself, myself, Bradley will be there, whoever other. I'm sure Ty will probably speak again on my behalf and be a part of it as well. For as low as $1,000, you can get right in the mix with all of the inner circle of people. So for between $100 and $1,000.
Yeah, what I found when I went there, I spoke obviously, but I attended all. I think it was 3 days. Was it 2.5, 3 days? Is that I got less out of me speaking, obviously. Who wants to hear me speak? But it was fun. That was a good time. But I got more out of the fact of how many people I met there and how many people were doing deals and how much opportunity you had. So I guess if you have real estate out there and you want to be in the space, you got to get a hold of Jerome and check out his program that's coming November. You said the first weekend of November?
Yeah, first weekend of November.
Nice.
We'll be advertising.
That'll be nice and cool here in Vegas. Not like it was last week, 117.
Brutal.
Yeah.
It was a rough time there. I am a little. I was telling Jason today, I'm a little mellow about the fact that a lot of these 13Ds were exiting. I have some commentary on why. You know, as many of you know, I still have a hedge against the market, so I've been short. I've been covering these shorts and a few times. I will get to that question, Mr. McLean. He's a big supporter, actually. Actually, let me get to that question real quickly. Question: what is the cap rate range out there now? 2006, 2008 was up in the 20s. It seemed. Really? Yeah, I guess that was when they blew up, right?
Yeah.
Cap rates are not there now.
No, they're not there. Not even close. So we're seeing stuff sub 5%. We've even seen some stuff sub 4%.
Sure. I just bought an
so-
apartment building that's around. Was it around 5,
Yeah,
4.5,
5.
5?
Yeah, yeah. Which is unheard of. You know, I mean, it's unheard of.
Sure.
The only thing that makes that viable right now is low interest rates.
Actually, I have a little bit of a different angle, but you might have the same angle once we talk about it, and that is the replacement cost of that building with the increase in construction costs. I thought, okay, even at a 4 or 5% cap rate, I can't build that property today for what they're selling it for.
Yeah, in some markets, you're probably right. But you know, some of this stuff is selling for $250,000 a door, $200,000 a door. And what I tell people is, you know, when it gets to be, we're at a place where it costs you $250,000 to build a 750, 800 square foot unit. You know, is
Too high.
It's way too high. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think there might be a little.
You're kind of with like me. I'm like I don't want to go to 150. I get a little nervous, but I would say 150 to 225, even 200. Probably prefer like 180, 195.
Yep.
If you had to make a choice, like if you had like all of the availability, you don't want to buy something that, you know, at least in my opinion, I don't know if I want to go buy C properties, but I'd pay $200,000 a door with the belief that I'll grow into that over time. But Jason, I can't remember. Were you with me in that property in Vegas they took us to, and they wanted some ridiculous amount per door for an old retrofitted building?
Yes.
It was an
office building.
It was an office
I'm not
building
gonna
turned
mention
into
the name.
apartments, and it was like,
That's what I'm doing now.
and they didn't retro all of them yet, and it was like from the 70s, and they wanted a fortune for it.
They wanted all the money. The units didn't even have laundry, like just stuff that people expect.
It was
nowadays.
sick, and it was 4% cap rate.
Yeah.
And they weren't. And I don't know if this is appropriate, and I apologize if we're going to end on a good note, but on a sad note. But what are we lucky for? We have a developer in house right now. I wanted to ask you about Miami. I mean, you're a developer, you're a builder. What is, if you could speculate for me? It looked like a controlled blow up. Boom.
Didn't it?
But then I had read and seen that they said they were working on the roofs and they had stuff up on the roofs for it, and that maybe part of the cement slab collapsed with the weight of some of that stuff, and the building was already weak, and then that led to one floor collapsing after another. But did you see it? First of all, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was curious because I was thinking about the other side of that building, right? So like only a half of the wing broke off and collapsed, and so you evict all the tenants and level the property, as I'm assuming, because of engineering.
Sure.
Yeah, concerns and the structural integrity. But yeah, for a building just to collapse like that is odd. Very odd.
Definitely is odd.
Is it like just to give? I don't live in a high rise like Jason.
Yeah.
Who lives in a massive high rise overlooking the strip. Like I said, I don't live in a high rise. Jason does.
Yeah.
Just kidding,
Thanks a lot,
Jason.
man. We don't have sinkholes in Las Vegas. Do we?
Yeah. but how rare is something like that? Because it feels weird to me. I saw it and went. And I was just there in Miami, like only a little short ways away. I was staying at the Nobu Hotel, and I thought to myself, God damn, that was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. You know, I was at the gym when I first saw it. I heard about it earlier in the day, and then I was at the gym. That's where I get any of my news, 'cause I don't really watch the news, but I sit there on the treadmill for a few minutes. And when I saw that, I the first thing that came to mind, I said, there's got to be something involved in that building collapsing like that. Because even like subpar engineering, I can see something compromised, but
Would
to
natty
that extent,
Would natty gas
To that
bring it
extent?
down? Natural gas wouldn't even bring it so defined. Like it was so, I don't know.
I mean, you look at these buildings where they go through destruction, and they seem to have this control burn,
Detonation,
right?
yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know.
well, hopefully they'll bring in some good, investigator. Some
Built in 81, sinkholes. We heard from some sources that the one side of the building was possibly sinking 1 to 2 millimeters a year. I mean, would that have a 30-year period? Would that have enough adverse effects to just, bring it down like that? I mean,
could. It's like Jenga. You ever play the game with the blocks?
Yeah, for sure.
And so you get just enough weakness, and then sooner or later, the whole thing falls. And it's possible. If there's a sinkhole under it, and there was subgrade issues, very possible. And it's sea level,
True.
There could have been issues like that because it's just not normal for a building to fall and collapse in that magnitude.
Terrible.
That quick. But
Hey, on a positive note, a risk-on moment, Blaze Wheaton had a risk-on moment today. 4 months into the job, asked for a 20% raise, more vacation time, landed it. I'm juiced up. I had to share. Congratulations. You wanna
Wow.
push that? Look at you.
All
right.
Nice, man. Nice.
All right. I love it. Follow up. Can you explain the interest rate cap rate relationship and why a rise in rates is good for the cap rate? Can you explain that or not?
Yeah, I can explain it. So, there's not a guarantee that's going to happen, right? You would think logically it has to happen, and wise investors are looking for it. Like myself, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here when I say, interest rates start rising and the cap rates just can't stay low because there's only so much that a property can bear, right? So there's only so much risk that an investor is going to take on any property. And so what it really comes down to is what your net operating income is and what you can really function and run that building at with debt, which most of them are carrying debt on them. And debt is a liability if it doesn't service itself. And it's not a liability, it's an asset, is what I've always said, is when it services itself. But there's a risk tolerance that the banks are willing to take and then they're willing to withdraw. And so you got to watch the business model the banks use because the banks have the best underwriting in the world, right? That's why the Federal Reserve, and the central banking system, they kind of run what we do.
Especially after all the stress tests and after 08 and such. Yeah. Like the guidelines have been
the
strict.
CFPB was put together,
for sure.
And everything. So, so when you would think that the way the banks are going to look at it is if interest rates go up, cap rates are going to have to rise a little bit as well. So we'll see a little forgiveness there. But the prices to build and stuff are high. So to Todd's point, there's going to be some type of teeter-totter effect that's going to have to go on over the course. And it usually takes about 2 years,
right,
for us to see some type of stabilization when there's market shifts and market changes that are substantial.
What would you say? Just a question from me personally. What would you say to someone right now that was a first-time home buyer or just in general looking to make a purchase of a primary residence? Let's say, for example, in one of these up-and-coming cities like Las Vegas, for example, where a lot of people are coming here, it's hot. Like, what would you say to someone that was looking for like an entry-level home in the $200,000 to $350,000 range? Would you encourage that? Could you expound on that?
Yeah, I never discourage people from buying. You got to buy wise. You have to look at real estate as a long-term holding. I think people that are looking at buying real estate like you do day trading, and they're just in for the to either sell short or sell high and take their profits. It's not the best time. It's a real tough gamble right now. But real estate appreciates, and with inflation, I tell people the only real asset that you have in the world is real estate because over the course of time, history has shown its natural appreciation. And the more money they print, the more the American dollar is devalued. You can't buy that same $250,000 house, that you could buy 3 years ago. Today, it's more. It's 400, 500,000.
Now you're talking my language, real world language. And on that note, I'd like to show Jerome this one of my favorite websites here. And I know he knows this site. If he doesn't, I'm going to give him some new data today. Nick, would you pull up? You familiar with this?
Oh yeah, I just did a video with that.
This usdebtclock.org speaks to exactly what Jerome was talking about, where the dollar's being devalued and your purchasing power is going down. If you just get a chance, if nobody's ever seen this site, just take a little while and just go through the different tabs here with all the different numbers that are constantly moving against us.
Yep.
So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, U.S. Americans, we love taking on debt, and the Federal Reserve works that way, right? So you guys know as well as I do, for every dollar they print, they can lend out.
Yep.
Yeah.
X-fold of
money multiplier.
Yep, money multipliers on it. So if they're not selling debt, they're not making money. And so,
hey, I want to cover with you guys that obviously guys like Marshall Wilkinson, who's been on the show many times, a real estate expert. We love Marshall. He's been a builder in New York in one of the toughest areas to build. We bring you a lot of diversity. not only did we bring you Marshall, we get lucky and bring you Jerome. If I would have known Jerome was going to be in town, I might have had dinner with him or something. But I mean, he guess he didn't know I was in Vegas, but whatever. Anyways, the point here is, I'm just kidding around. The point here is that we bring a lot of different diversity on the show on Risk On, and I wanted to cover the last few minutes with Jerome this way, and that is, Jerome, you are a self-made guy. You took risks to get where you were. Could you give everyone a little bit of history of how you got started, what risk you had to take to do it, sort of what was if you can, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but what was kind of the biggest risk on moment you took where you knew, like, I had to do this in order to get to the next level?
Yeah, the day I moved from the Southwest all the way up to the East Coast, and I packed my 4Runner and drove across the country. And it was for that purpose, when you're in college and you could turn around, turn back to mom and dad, steal a roll of toilet paper and some food out of the refrigerator. It makes life a little bit easier, and as silly as that sounds. But I had a mentor, and he said, burn your bridges. And as much as, there's people with families, and I don't want to sit here and tell you, sell my burn your bridges method on everybody out there. It worked for me. I was far enough away that I had that pit in my stomach, and there was really good moments, and there was a lot of really bad moments, and you got to have some level of risk tolerance that you have to be able to stomach, and you got to have, I think, your dream of doing something greater than what the world promotes to you really has to live in you, because, like my wife tells me, she goes, there's very few people like you, Jerome. And what she means by that is there's very few people that have that risk tolerance that you have, And so, but there's people that can go out and do what we're doing. They don't have to do it to the magnitude that we're doing it. They can have levels of success that we've had in my new forms and still do very, very well. And so, I made decisions, and I made decisions that I stuck behind. And so when I really started making it, it took a while. It took from 1993 to 1998. And in 1998, I had made some money in there, and I had done well for my age. But then I had some downfalls and some collapses of income because of being wet behind the ear. And it was really through that persistent nature and that real dream that I was able to push through. And when I got there, I was able to stay consistent at it. And so one of the big things is you take a little piece of knowledge, and if you exercise it correctly, and the biggest thing is you do things right, you do things ethically, because in the means of when things are going wrong and you're trying to survive, we tend to do things not so correctly in order to survive. Like mentor told me, he said, Jerome, understand, never lend money or your wife out to people, because you'll never get either one of them back if you do. And he said, because people in survival mode will lie, cheat, and steal from the family, their family and the ones they love, and they will from you too. And I think all of us are guilty to some magnitude of that when we're trying to go through a level of success. And so when you really make it, you sit back and you go, okay, I got to get my scales balanced right and do things correctly. And that comes from my dad. In all honesty, that comes from my dad. And my dad said, Jerome, if you never tell a story or a lie, you never have to remember anything, because you never have anything to cover up, right? You just tell the truth. And, so anytime we've had litigations or lawsuits, we've been able to go to the table, and the girls in my office ask, hey, what do I bring to the table? And I tell them, you give them everything, because you have nothing to hide.
Hey, if you want to learn how to grow your assets with Jerome Maldonado, there's not a nicer guy in real estate. There's not a nicer guy around. I've been around him for a few years now. And can we pull that up on the screen real quick? I will show you how to make more sales, invest in real estate, and grow your wealth. Jerome has the trust of Ty Lopez. I know they're partners on a ton of stuff, and Dr. Alex, who I think is the smartest of the bunch, in terms of between Ty and Dr. Alex. I think Dr. Alex is he's got a PhD. He's actually a rocket scientist. I think Ty, even you'll give that to Dr. Alex. But hey, if you want to get a hold of Jerome, we'll leave a link down below. One of the nicest guys in real estate. We appreciate you stopping by. Everyone, Jerome Maldonado.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
Thanks,
Todd.
buddy.
Appreciate
it, man.
Always good to see you guys.
You want to... Hey, those of you on the radio, too, we need to give out the actual address for Jerome. Let's do it one more time.
Yeah.
Can you spell the actual website out for me, Jerome, real quick?
Yeah, www.jeromemaldonado toddault.com.
All right, and it'll be up on toddault.com too, and on the YouTube channel. You can check it out on Risk On.
Nice.
All right, appreciate it, Jerome. You guys will let him out. Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you, buddy. Be well. Safe travels.
Yeah, man.
I live here now.
I know, man.
Yeah, you can get a hold of me anytime.
I'm going
Hey,
to
nice
now.
to meet you. Take care.
So
Nice to
Take care, everybody.
Hey, good luck to you
we got
guys.
to do a full
Thank you.
podcast
Nice to meet you.
together.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, like an autonomous. That'd be great. Or yours, one of the two.
Yeah, no, both.
That'd be great.
Both. So, okay.
Hey, everybody on the radio. Jerome's stepping out because he has another meeting. We have about 10 minutes left. We're going to get to some viewer questions and net sky limit. Can Alzheimer push to 15 by Monday? I don't know. I can't comment on Alzheimer, but I am the largest shareholder. What do we do with the $2 trillion Decepticons rolling? I don't know what that means. There's a manifestation into just walk and talk the other day. There's that manifestation. That's absolutely true, for sure. That is absolutely true. Hold on one second, guys. I got to let people know I'm live.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Thank you, Jessica. Alzheimer up 9% today. Huh.
Interesting.
Really? I didn't see where it closed. Let's see. Ravi, I am so risk averse. I have money to buy a house, but I'm stuck in stocks.
Stuck.
I'm stuck in stocks. COVID issues. My country had to put back the sale of some assets. I want to buy a home, but I don't know if I should buy it or not. Hey, listen, Robbie, this is just my perspective. Ultimately, you got to buy yourself a house. Let's move closer together a little bit here.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you got to buy yourself a house. You got to make sure that you have a homestead, the house that is yours. Now, there's some people that argue you can rent, and that's true. But I think the replacement costs of these houses are going up and not going away anytime soon. I always believe you should have one that belongs to you, but you got to make sure you can afford it, and you got the daily bread to make sure you cover that cost. You got to check out GHSI. Tell me what you think. GHSI. Do you know what that is? Never heard of it? Well, we'll write it down. I started with 10,000, went up to 130,000, stuck in stock the last 4 months.
That's Guardian.
Way too concentrated. Diversified too much in one stock. Didn't work out. Oh, Robbie. That sucks. Do you see SWBI continuing to push to its bull push?
SWBI?
I don't know SWBI.
I don't know that one either.
Are you okay? Okay. Yeah, I guess there's a big gap
Of course
between
we
us.
know that.
What?
It's Smith & Wesson.
Oh, Smith & Wesson. Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's doing great.
Yeah.
They had a great quarter. Smith
Yeah,
& Wesson did a great quarter.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
lifted that one we were long, POWW. What a move that has.
You know, so the theory was right. We weren't patient.
Theory was right. We weren't patient enough for sure.
Yeah.
So, I can't talk about ALZN. Come on.
Net Sky
You guys
Limit.
are killing me here.
He's sick.
Exactly.
What's Duppy talking about? Y'all heard this gush talk.
Hey, Skyla, let's get to the joke
yeah,
of the
Duppy
day,
for
my friend.
sure.
Let's get to the joke of the day.
Oil's
we need
gushing.
some changes from real estate. Let's do something fun here.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm fixing my mic.
What happened there over there, Skyla?
They had
Caught her off
to
guard.
move
What are you
it
doing?
To get past and move the chairs and everything.
Sure.
So, why shouldn't you gamble in Africa?
Why shouldn't you gamble in Africa?
Too many cheetahs.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Too many cheetahs.
You know who gave me that joke?
Who?
Double Trouble Dive Adventures.
Oh,
That is
nice.
our man,
Yeah.
LA Story, right?
Yeah,
Is
for
this
sure.
LA Story?
Yeah.
I thought it was
He's
a
going to
good
be playing
joke.
at the Risk-On conference. I'm
Yep.
excited about that. We got about 7 minutes left. Can we get our man? Sorry, Skyla. I know it's a little weird show today.
That's okay.
We didn't get to catch up. You do it really quickly, Skyla. You do anything for the weekend? Anything exciting here in Vegas?
I'm resting, to be honest. I might
Yeah.
go golfing with Chase or something like that and Roland.
It's been
yeah.
it's been a windfall here. Hey, check out GOED.
Goad.
All right, I will go get
Go.
Randy.
Will you get Randy for us?
Yes.
That'd be great. Skyla, thanks so much. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you, Skylar.
I know you got. When's the concert coming up? That big concert you're going to?
What, Electric Daisy Carnival?
Well, we're going to two. We're going to one for Roland's birthday and one for my birthday.
What
So
are they
one-
called?
Life is Beautiful and EDC, Las Vegas.
Nice.
They're both in Las Vegas, so it's super convenient.
For
Hey, I
Sure.
can officially tell you Vegas is up and back. Vegas is back, baby. Vegas is back. And there is trouble It is back, man. COVID is over in Vegas. Oh, did you hear that? Those bullets rock.
Guardian Health Sciences, GHSI. This is a day trade.
Double Trouble Dive Adventures. LA story.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be here.
What do you want to cover today? What's up with you?
Whatever you want. I mean, I had a couple of ideas here. The infrastructure was on pause here. We had some the far left wing of the party was pushing back on Biden. So some of these tickers that we were on for infrastructure play, like IEA, OEG, Chara, U.S. Steel, Friedman to some extent, they're kind of on pause here in the middle of this swing trade until they figure this thing out.
If you go to 949-799-1831, 949-799-1831, and you type in 13D or Todd or Big Business, we are going to put a link in when we have 13D filings. When we are filing against a company thinking we're going to take an activist position, we are going to make it available to all of our audience in real time. When it gets filed, we're going to publish it with the SEC and then send it out to you. So go to 949-799-1831. Randy is in the house. Randy, the Dodger fan, Randy is on the house. What's up, Dan? What's up, Randy?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
We're waiting on you, man. We need to change it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll forgive you for wearing that Dodgers.
What happened
Yeah,
to
it's
the
not
Golden
going good,
Knights,
right? I
dude?
shouldn't have wore it. They got no hit last night. The Golden Knights got knocked out of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Dude.
So we're rooting for Tampa, right?
I don't know, man.
Who are we rooting for?
Tampa, the
I
Lightning.
don't care now. I mean, I hope for Jason's sake, Tampa wins, I guess. But
All right.
Really?
I like that. I like
Yeah.
Tampa.
Hey,
Come
go
on, man.
USF, right? Go USF. They
Yeah.
made the two drugs for Alzheimer's, and they're in Tampa, so let's go.
Yeah.
Tampa.
Yeah, did you see what happened the other night, Jason? I don't know if you saw. Like the Islanders won the game and forced Game 7 now.
Yeah.
Which is tonight, and it's the last game possibly at that Nassau Coliseum, and all the fans threw beer cans on the ice, and the place was just littered with beer and beer cans. God. And they said it reeked like cigarettes. They go,
Where
how
are they going to
people-"
move it?
Stay classy.
They're building a new arena in Belmont, New York.
Yeah.
It's going to be open at the end of the year, probably, and the
Near the
Islanders
horse
are going to
track.
play there. But they said the place reeked like cigarettes the whole night. Yeah.
What else, man? What else?
So Formula One's in Austria this weekend. That's a little bit better. Hopefully, Verstappen was quickest. They had practice this morning. Verstappen was quickest. And then Ricciardo was second for McLaren. That's pretty good. The practices usually don't mean a lot.
Is that Daniel Ricciardo?
Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo.
Nice.
And then Ocon and Alonso with the Alpine team were third and fourth. They threw out Hamilton's time. He kind of went outside the track limits. If you go outside of the track, outside the white lines and stuff, and they take away your fast time and throw it out. So that's what happened to Hamilton. He's trying really hard. I think he's getting a little frustrated now with Verstappen. Verstappen's on a roll, and that Honda engine's working good for him. And I think it's going to be pretty tough for Hamilton to just waltz through and win another championship as easily as he had, the last 4 or 5 years. So.
Hey guys, it is Friday, the 25th of June. We're almost at the end of the quarter. We appreciate you staying with us. 102 episodes strong.
Yeah.
We continue to rock and roll. We will be doing an episode from New York when we ring the bell on the NASDAQ on
Ding, ding, ding.
the 12th
Monday.
of July. We'll be ringing that bell, the opening bell for Alzheimer's Neuro. ALZN will ring that bell on Monday, and we look forward to it, the July 12th. I thought that this was going to be a dollar summer. And let me give you a little commentary about why I think it's changed. And that is, Goldman Sachs ordered people back to work into their offices. And I realized that instead of the normal vacation time people have in the summer, they kind of been home and on some sort of vacation.
Yeah.
And now they're going back to work and they're still actively trading. This is the most active I've seen a summer. Something has shifted in the universe. People are still trading. I don't know if there's been much of a lull.
A lot of that stimmy got into play and circulating in the money rotation and liquidation. You've got all this stuff going on with crypto, 24 hours. Like everybody's like action junkies now, it seems like.
Sure.
I mean, it's always something to trade, always something to profit from, always something to lose money from. So I think that's a little bit different dynamic than we're used to.
Hey, whoa, what's wrong with me here? Congratulations to Glenn, the CEO of Iconics. I know you were hired to turn the company around, and you made a deal for the company to merge with Terra Wolf and become hopefully one of the biggest Bitcoin miners in the world.
Yes.
And also spin out contingent value right
Right.
for the shareholders. An excellent job for Glenn and Iconics. I was proud to be a shareholder. I exited today. I exited on behalf of Ault Global, DPW shareholders. It was a great win, over $2.5 million made. We'll be filing that 13D. I filed it on for all those regulators out there.
Yeah.
I put it out there on Twitter like I'm supposed to.
Yep.
So it was a great trade. It's been out there. Those of you on the radio, we thank you. 11:50 a.m. Los Angeles and Orange County. We will see you Monday. It has been a great
week, man.
my man.
Great
week. Marshall, I hope everything's well in New York for you. Everyone take care. Randy, Skyla, Nick, Brett, Willie, the whole crew, everyone at Ault Global, everyone at Ault & Company, Ault Real Estate Partners, Ault Capital Management. It's been a run. It's been fun. Let's have a good weekend. Josh, you take care, my friend. Thank you so much. We kicked ass this week. We'll see you.